Well, good evening, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and welcome to the post game show. Joining me is my co host Ed, and we're still waiting on Tracy here. He's having a little bit of technical difficulties, so we're going to go ahead and start without him. Well, golden opportunity tonight, Ed, for the Steelers to win the AFC North, and they could not get it done. Um, I don't even know where to begin on this one, Ed. Uh, I, just bad play calling. I thought.
No doubt.
Um, I thought a lot of miscues, obviously turnovers. Obviously, when you fumble on the Ravens 5 yard line, and then they drive,
98 yards.
yeah, and score. When you throw a pick six, um, when you just basically get gouged. Uh, your run defense basically gets gouged. I mean, what can you expect? What
Yeah.
can you expect for an outcome? I don't know where even to begin, Ed. What are you? What'd you make? What'd you take from the game? I mean,
Well, I first took from the game again. They don't start. They don't start very well. So their first possession. Neither team had a good first possession. Then they come down and score. Ravens score, and then the Steelers put together a nice drive. Billy, they did. I don't understand the. Again, there was no RPO today at all.
right?
I don't understand some of the calls. I don't understand the constant toss sweeps to Najee. Need to just go because
Yeah,
they did them to Warren, and what do they have? Good success.
good
Right?
success. Yeah,
They don't seem to come back to plays that do them well. I don't
right.
understand.
I
You
thought
know,
the play calling was god awful. Why on earth you would go for it on fourth down like that and just throw it was just a seam route that was just
you need six. They went for 60.
yeah, it
You know,
was ridiculous. I don't know why you would do that. Um, I mean, the Russell Wilson thing, get down and slide, man. Don't try to, I mean, come on. Why would you do that? Why would you try to?
yeah.
I mean, I get it. If he scores there, you're like, oh, what a great play by him. But
Right. And he's not usually one that plays hero ball, Billy. So I was a little shocked.
yeah, I just didn't understand why he did that, and it was costly. I mean, you fumble. Um, And then there you go. You have the Ravens get the ball and they drive the 90 plus yards and score. Lamar Jackson 3 touchdown passes today. Obviously, Marlon Humphrey scored on that fourth quarter pick six. Here's the thing: like you had every opportunity to clinch this division today.
They did.
All you needed to do was go out and execute, and you failed to do that. Now you're gridlocked with the Ravens at 10-5, and you put yourself in a really bad situation. You really did. You got your ass handed to you last week against Philly, and this week it's not too much better. I thought the offense though overall was a little bit crisper, even without George Pickens, but just uh,
It was a little bit more crisp, but I mean, really, this is an organizational failure, like we talked about on the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. To put yourself in a situation where you don't have quality wideouts is really glaring. When your number one choice is not the most mature person in the world and is completely inconsistent, and now is injured. I mean, this should not be a thing for a professional football team, right?
well, and you had Derrick Henry had that 44-yard run.
Oh
You know, um,
yeah,
I mean, there was just a lot of things that just didn't go right for them today.
yeah.
Today,
All the talk, all of this, all of that, they weren't ready for prime time.
yeah. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick gets that interception. Essentially, you give it right back on a pick six. You know,
Yeah, I mean, the thing I wouldn't be concerned so much as the offense. This is the last 3 games. They've given up 1,119 yards in 3 games.
right.
300, 401, and 418. That is, and you're coming against a team in Kansas City who's
Yeah.
getting a lot of their weapons back. I don't know what you do. They're going to
We
spread you out. They're not going to be in tight.
we talked about this on the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. How many times have you seen late season
Collapses.
collapses? Right. And this is I don't know. We're on our way to that. I mean, this is 2 in a row now. We're on our way.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean,
uh,
there's no doubt about that. That the that's if one were to mock the Steelers, it appears as if his standard is mediocrity, right?
Right.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, Jackson improved to 2-4 against Pittsburgh as a starter. I was a little bit. I didn't realize this. It kind of took me back when they said this, but this was his first time facing the Steelers at home since 2020, and I'm like, wow.
well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, everybody made a big deal about the 1-8. 8 of the last 9, 4 of them had nothing to do with Lamar.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's just silliness, is what it is.
Yeah.
And the game in Pittsburgh was 1917 with one of the most accurate kickers in the NFL missing 2 field goals and an extra point,
Right.
leaving 7 points on and it was 1917 and a terrible call on a 2-point play. I mean, the Steelers, I mean, they are what they are. They have too much money invested in their defense. They have to change that paradigm because it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. They need to have a balance. We've said that before. They need to have a balance, and they don't. Um,
Exactly.
Derrick Henry rushed for 162 yards today. And I'll tell you another thing too. You do force some fumbles. Baltimore recovered 3 of its own fumbles.
Yeah.
Had big, had
today.
yeah had 2 big takeaways. How about that? That Isaiah Likely 9-yard touchdown. Where the hell? How about the Mark Andrews touchdown?
Yeah.
It was like a high low, and nobody picked him up. Nobody picked him up at all.
Nope.
Just let him. So
let him roam free. I mean, and there's definitely when you have substitutions in there, the communication is not going to be the way it's supposed to be when the starters are there. But if he hangs his hat on that, if Tomlin hangs his hat on that, and says, he's proud of where they were today. I mean, you have to admit defeat sometimes.
yeah.
You have to admit the shocking defeat sometimes. And Russell held onto the ball too much.
Right.
At the end. I mean, he just was holding on to it too much. Which that's what got him in trouble in Seattle. That's what got him in trouble in Denver. I mean, he's 9 starts. He's 6-3. I don't know.
Yeah, and like I said, that was very costly. Wilson, trying to run that in, he should have just slid. He should have gave himself up and slid. You're trying to go one-on-one with Darius Washington. He has some pretty good closing speed.
Yeah.
But he has that punishing hit. Jars the ball loose. I think it was Kyle Van Noy that recovered it.
Yep.
Not good. Not good. I mean, that I wouldn't right then and there. I was like, oh man, this could be like the turning point of the game.
And really, I mean, we probably should have listened to see what he said in his post-game comments just to see, what his shtick is going to be. But I think sometimes he's all quotes and no coaching.
Right.
And now that, my goodness, they gave him a platform on Hard Knocks. Good God Almighty, it may have created a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ravens drove 96 yards after that fumble, and made it 14-7.
Yeah.
I know. In the third, Wilson threw that 12-yard touchdown pass to Cordell Patterson, which was a nice pass, by the way. But Joey Porter Jr. Got injured
penalties today.
Yeah, I know. That's true. Yeah. Injured his calf. Ben Skoranek got injured. And Ben Skoranek had a couple catches prior to his injury. He looked pretty
he was open in the seam, and he was open on those drag routes all day.
Yeah.
A couple of times you couldn't see him. Wilson couldn't see him,
Right.
I mean, it was tough. The Ravens played a decent game, but on offense, you gave him 220 yards rushing. After a while, you have to be completely disciplined with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He had 7 runs over 10 yards, and if he just went 7 runs for 70, it'd be perfect. But they just keep hitting him over and over and over again. And then one time you miss him going low, and there he's gone. That's the beauty that they have in him.
That hit on Justice Hill on the sideline, did it look like he was out? Looked like to me like he was.
Well, he did.
Out.
He was out the rest of the game.
No, I mean like he was knocked out cold.
Oh, I thought he was.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, he didn't move. But
no, that's where the NFL needs to step in and save the players from the players.
Yeah.
But luckily, he was out for the whole thing. And Porter had a calf, which how's that calf going to do against the speed that's coming?
Exactly.
There is just time speed coming. Plus, you gave a touchdown to the tight ends again. The best tight ends coming to town. They have 2 really good tight ends. They have, Juju Smith-Schuster. They got, DeAndre Hopkins.
Right.
They've got Hollywood Brown back. They
Right.
got the kid from Texas they drafted. They got
Yeah.
Rashee Rice coming back. They
Right.
got running back who's back. They have a lot.
Yeah.
They're winning all these close games, but I think it's going to be very tough for the Steelers to win.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be fighting, I don't think, for their playoff lives on the final week. But what if it comes down to where they actually have to play the final week?
Right.
You know,
Well, yeah. I mean, this, like I said, this was a golden opportunity today that you had, and you blew it. You essentially blew it. You didn't do what you were supposed to do,
yeah.
and you really, you really gave the Ravens an early Christmas present. You gift wrapped it to them. So,
Yes,
but
we know there are many players out.
yeah,
You can add to that as well. You can add Skoranek. You can add Joey Porter Jr. to that. You can keep adding it.
yeah. But
But I mean, they can hang it. I mean, that's why you beat Baltimore so many times because there was no Lamar. I mean, that also helps.
right, yeah.
So
Both teams are playing on Christmas Day. You got obviously we're hosting the Chiefs, and then Baltimore's got to go to Houston
yep.
in the night game. So, but I tell you what, yeah, I mean, it was not like I said, today was not a very good day, and not shouldn't be. If you're a Steelers fan, you shouldn't be happy with what you saw on the field today. Shouldn't be happy with what you saw last week either. But
But the idea is that, I mean, if you understand that your team has injuries, stop celebrating the fact that you beat the Ravens 8 of the last 9. 4 of them they didn't have their starting quarterback, which is all that matters. So if you're not going to count this game as a quote unquote beat down from the Ravens because of the injuries, which I'm fine with because it's a
right,
totally different team. Both clubs are totally different when they're at their full health. There's no doubt about that,
yeah.
right? I mean, I didn't think Watt was that effective. Did you?
No, I didn't think he was. Yeah, he was getting chipped a lot today.
But
Yeah,
you can't really handle that extra weight when you have a bum ankle.
right.
And any little bit scars, bumps, bruises, anything that comes up now, it's hard.
Well, you're hesitant.
Right. Exactly.
You're hesitant. Just like, I think Tua's hesitant to get another concussion.
Right.
So
He's
I
playing
mean,
scared.
same thing. Yeah, I mean, you can't play scared like that.
Oh,
But
that's when you get hurt.
yeah, Russell Wilson, 22 of 33, 217 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Obviously, a costly interception.
No doubt.
Jalen Warren, 12 carries, 48 yards. Um, I tell you what, they couldn't run the ball today either. That was another thing. Najee Harris, 9 carries, 42 yards. Why? I just don't understand why they keep pitching to him, and he tries to go outside. That guy, he is not a sideline to sideline runner. How many times do we have to say this? Run him up the middle. I don't understand why that's so hard.
I can't for the life of me realize why. It's like the opposite of coaching. Tell me what you can do well. Oh, you can do that well? Here, tell me what you can do poorly. We're going to make you do it. Coach to your players' strengths. And I don't think they do that on offense. Again, most of the tight ends were absent, right?
Right.
I mean, what the tight ends come with receiving?
Not Pat Fryermuth had 3 receptions for 16 yards.
Hayward had 1.
Yeah, and really Hayward's an H-back. Yeah.
Okay, and then Pruitt had 1, and he had the touchdown, 1-yard touchdown.
Right.
So I mean, where's the tight end heavy? I mean,
that's what I said. What about where's Washington? Why didn't you utilize him today?
Not at all, Billy. Not a single bit.
Why wasn't that? Why didn't you put him more into the game plan? Why didn't you? I thought the play column was very vanilla today. Very vanilla. I thought that Arthur Smith. I mean, there was a lot of play calls that you were just like, what are they doing? I mean, that 4th down, I thought really they were just trying to draw them off. When they snapped the ball, I'm like, and then when he dropped back, and I'm like, oh, he's going deep.
Well, and then they get the ball back with like 3:14. They're down 34-17, and they give up. They run the ball.
Yeah,
they gave up, and I'm sure he's going to say, "Well, when I looked at it, I a lot of horses in the stable were hurt, so I don't want anybody else hurt. So and being down 2 scores, we got Kansas City coming to town. He's going to sling some sort of bull crap. But honestly, you gave up.
Yeah.
What does that
say? You did give up. I agree. You did. You basically did give up.
Yeah.
And it's
Billy, what are your grades? What do you give coaching?
Today, I give it I give it a C. I give it a C, C minus today.
Offense. What do you give the offense?
C.
Defense.
I'll give the defense a B minus.
What about special teams? Kicked one out of
It's
bounds.
another kick down out of bounds. What was up with that?
I know. I
mean, that was costly. I mean, that puts them at the 40-yard line.
Yeah.
You know,
they scored on that drive. So, who do you think your biggest impact player on offense was?
Well, I really think Jalen Warren. He had some really good runs. He had that 11-yard. That was the longest one, but to pick up the first down. But I mean, he only had 48 yards. But
He caught 5 balls for 44. Also,
yeah, he did. I was just going to say that he caught 5 balls.
I think I'd split the impact player on offense between Russ and Calvin Austin.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Russ had 2 mistakes, but other than that, I mean,
yeah.
No,
Russ did good. I mean, it was he had, like you said, he had 2 mistakes, and Ed, they were costly mistakes. I mean, ultimately those led to 2 touchdowns. So it's kind of hard for me to give that to him when like I said, 2 of your mistakes led to 2 touchdowns. I mean, you fumble leads to a 96-yard drive where they score, and then you throw a pick 6. So.
He gave up 3 sacks again.
Yeah, he's holding the ball way too long.
Way too much.
And I thought that one he could have actually had an intentional grounding on that one call.
Should have.
Yeah, it was that could have been intentional grounding.
Here's the other thing I didn't understand, Billy. Why was Marlon Humphrey not flagged on that play for taunting?
I don't know either. Yeah, he should have been. I agree.
And he doesn't have the largest hands for mittens. He almost dropped the thing too. I rewound it, I'm like, that idiot,
right?
Almost drops the game sealing pick 6, and he's taunting as well. Right. I would have liked to seen a 15-yard penalty on that. I don't know how do they do that on the enhanced touchback. How does that work? Now that I see it, how does that work? They push back.
Yeah, I think that's what they would do. Yeah,
and then you just have to kick it from there.
You have to kick it from there. Yeah.
Hopefully you get a penalty.
Right.
Well, where's the penalty in that? I mean, most of the kickers have strong legs. I mean, there's no real penalty in that because everybody's already up there. They push that. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
I just thought research on that. Some of Tomlin's coaching was just bad. Bad.
Well, I don't know why you went for it on 4th down like that. I don't know why you would do that.
Well, I think he was scared from last week.
Well, I mean, that's just that's stupid. That's stupid. And to make a play, they call a play like that. I mean, I could see, okay, you go on 1st down, you maybe do something short up the middle, like a short seam route up the middle to Freiermuth or something like that,
or do a stop route right over the 1st down marker. Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that. I don't.
And it should have been picked. I don't know what Hamilton was doing because the ball was up there.
It should have been picked. I know. Yeah. But
I am curious about that one as well. Why you would do such a there had to have been people open. I'll have to go back and look at all 22, but there had to have been people open on that.
Right. Patrick, let's switch to the defensive side of the ball. I thought Patrick Queen had a pretty decent game. I mean, he had 8 total sacks. I'm sorry, 8 total tackles, 4 solos. I thought
he led the team, and he should have, right? I mean, he's a former player. He should have been. He should know all those plays. He's practiced against them a ton of times. Right. He got a couple good. I mean, he got several good licks on Lamar as well.
Yeah. No, I thought that should have been taunting as well. I mean,
of course it was.
And I'd like to. It's the same thing as what's the definition of a catch? What's the definition of taunting? Because you've seen it how many times?
Yeah.
Where I don't know. That was a taunt to me. So I don't.
Of course it was. He put the ball out. I thought the player who didn't play so well in defenses, Beanie Bishop, was just absent.
Well, yeah. How about that tackle on Zay Flowers where he literally had him? I mean, like was holding on for dear life, had his leg,
and he
still got out of it. Like, are you? I don't know, man. You might want to hit the weight room a little bit more. You might want to hit the weight room. That's all I'm going to say. You might want to knock some more reps out on bench. You might want to do some curls. You might want to add that to your repertoire. I'd cut down on on the cardio, eat a little bit more tuna, some raw eggs, and hit the weight room, young man, because that was just I don't know how he got out of that.
And the other thing, I mean, they hit Russ 6 times. They didn't hit Lamar at all.
No, he had a clean pocket the whole game.
The whole game, yeah.
I mean, he was not really under duress at any point in time.
No.
Okay, so when you're able to do that, especially a guy like him, when you're able to have a clean pocket, not be under duress, buy yourself some time, buy yourself receivers time to get open, you're going to have success, and you're going to be able to move the football down the field, and that's exactly what they did. It's exactly what they did.
It was interesting because I thought Baltimore, by their stupid call and giving the Steelers that 3 points, at the end of the half, I thought for sure that if the Steelers had come out and that first 5 minutes had come down and tied it up, totally different ballgame.
Totally different ballgame, yeah.
But then they didn't until later.
Hey, you score. Russell Wilson doesn't fumble on the freaking 4-yard line. You get points out of that. That would have helped your situation out too.
Yeah, most definitely.
You just gifted them. You gave them an early Christmas present.
But still they had to drive 98, 96 yards.
Yeah, 96 yards. But the bottom line is, when you're in the red zone, especially in a game like this, you can't turn the ball over,
right?
But you got to come out with points.
Yeah,
and it was and that pick six. I don't. That was a bad read on Russell Wilson. That was a bad read.
Well,
even Tom Brady said that. He said that. He's like, I don't know why he threw it there.
Well, first of all, why are you throwing 81? Why is that not 88? I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, it comes down. I don't
know. Who's sending these players out in these packages? Where all of a sudden you have Pruitt, who he hadn't been done anything all year. Now all of a sudden he's one of the primary targets.
That's what I'm saying about Arthur Smith. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why. Like, you've seen certain things in games that have worked, and he doesn't go back to them.
Right. I don't.
He kind of It's like you're. It's like deja vu. You're seeing it in these games, and you're like, "Oh, I remember this. This is the I remember this.
Well, let's not go back.
This and they don't go back to it, and it's just unbelievable. I don't understand why, and that's why I said I don't. It was really a combination of a lot of things, but I thought play calling was a very
and also
glaring weakness.
Yeah.
Today.
And also, you didn't get the bounces this game. Usually, you get those bounces.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
but I tell you what, you can't you can't.
Exactly, I know what you're going to say. Say it.
You can't expect those bounces.
There you go, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you can't expect those. You have to play good enough to compensate that you're not going to get those bounces.
Correct. That's the icing on the cake.
Right.
Right.
And good teams do that.
Yeah.
Good teams don't need bounces. Okay. Yeah. Good teams don't need bounces. I mean, you may need one once in a while and here and there, but you shouldn't rely on bounces. Good teams play their way so they don't have to rely on bounces.
Right.
That's what good teams do.
Right. And I don't think they're in the playoffs. I just don't know if they can go far at all.
Yeah. I mean, this is a prime example. Last week you went up against a formidable opponent in Philadelphia. You looked, you look like a clown show. Yeah. This week, I mean, everything to play for this game. I mean, you've got the division. You win this game, you win the division.
Now you get to rest players.
Right. You make your path so much more easier, and you just could not get it done. You just could not get it done. Now, having said that, I mean, there are 2 games left, right? So, I mean, I know the final week is Steelers play Cincinnati, who's better than who Baltimore plays, which is Cleveland at home. Right. I think Steelers have the harder one because they have Kansas City. Yeah.
And they have the Texans, which I think they can beat.
Listen, I mean, they made it hard on themselves. They needed a win today. Now they've made it a lot difficult now for themselves. Yeah. And now you really have to, you've got to make, I mean, this was a gift wrap. Signed, sealed, delivered. Stevie Wonder, signed, sealed, delivered. It's yours, and you you just let it go through your hands.
Again, it's so much more fluff than it is substance anymore with him. I mean, it just is. I'm tired of all the, that's another Tomlinism. Well, that's great. You know what else is another Tomlinism? 3 years of his coaching does he have a playoff victory? 3.
Right.
That's a Tomlinism. Swallow that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say. I mean, they have to get away from that narrative. I mean, we don't do it. You guys don't do it as diehard Steel fans, but that national narrative is just it's killing the team.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm one of these guys who's a little bit more objective than I think a lot of other fans.
Oh, no doubt.
But I look at the big picture, and I look at the I look at the resume and what's been done and what hasn't been done.
Right.
And hey, I don't care what anybody says. You can blame, like I said, I didn't like the play calling today. Okay. But guess what? Mike Tomlin still has a piece in that. Okay. He still has a piece. It's not just all on Arthur Smith, and he still has a piece on that. It's just it's systematic failures, and you can say what you want to say, but it's not a good situation. And like I said, they made their situation 10 times harder today than what it needed to be.
And Billy, there's a wide receiver on the street now.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm them, why not? Why not?
Hey Ed, they've passed on so many wide receivers. What gives you why on earth would you think that they would make any changes or add anybody at this point now? I mean, God, that's another thing. I could go on a rant on that. How many receivers have been available? How many times have we said, this guy's he's gone. This guy, hey, he's gone. This guy just coming. He's gone. Like they just don't. If we
rewound the podcast of the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, it would be amazing how many times you said you would preview wide receiver. This guy's good. He's got good stats. They should sign him. And then nope, you're right. He's gone. I mean, it's almost laughable.
And they're in the situation they're in because of that. You have George Pickens go down, and he's hurt. And I mean, look at what the production you've gotten since that.
Right.
Not very good.
No.
And you can say, well, guys need to step up. Well, guess what? You don't have the caliber. You don't have the wideout caliber to for them to step up. You don't have it. You don't got that wide receiver room should have been addressed.
And what did the coach say about it? I like our wide receiver room.
Yeah, well,
direct quote.
You're not winning with them. So if that's what you like, you like to be on the losing side of matchups like this, then yeah. But
it's amazing, and I really want to know, and Billy, we could be sitting here in a couple of days from now, Christmas Day, and have a totally different narrative.
The Chiefs are beatable, but I tell you what, when you look at the mistakes the Steelers have made in the last couple of weeks, if they continue to do that, they're going to get beat by the Chiefs. It's not even going to be a contest.
No,
I mean they
everybody out.
They have a lot that they have to clean up, and they've got a very short time to do it. I mean, we're talking 1, 2, we're talking 3 days. They've got to get this. Get some of these things cleaned up and really look at the path that they've been going down, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, 15 to 23, 207 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception. I mean, it didn't set the world on fire, but just made the plays when he needed to make the plays. Once again, where have we heard that before?
And he finally started running the ball a little bit.
Right.
And he had a couple good ones.
Yeah. Well, he had 9 carries for 22 yards.
Yeah.
He had that one, I think it was 8 yards. Did he,
Yeah. And that's all he needed to do. I mean, had he had more carries, they may have put it away earlier. And that was the difference between the two games. He didn't do any running at all in his last couple games.
Yeah.
Against the Steelers.
Well, and big thing was Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 162 yards. I mean, that was a big – they just galvanized that defense.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers, 5 receptions, 100 yards. I
He
mean,
was dangerous the whole game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just Mark Andrews was dangerous, had that one touchdown.
Isaiah Likely.
Likely, I mean, that was just, Rashard Bateman,
Yeah.
that in the corner of the end zone.
They at least they utilize their tight ends well. Seven catches, 2 touchdowns between their tight ends.
Isaiah Likely, like I said, that he could have walked, he could have moonwalked, he could have turned his back and Michael Jackson into the end zone. There was nobody there. So Rashard Bateman, I mean, that was just a simple flare route.
Yeah.
And that, and just,
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. So,
but that's
what are they going to do?
Well, I don't know. It depends. Both teams played today. How good is that ankle for Pat Mahomes? Looked pretty damn good today. I will say that.
It did.
I think it looked to me like he was favoring some things today a little bit. It looked to me like he was. I don't know.
No, he definitely was, really, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching my my other football club, Arsenal, beat the piss out of Crystal Palace 5-1. So I started watching at halftime or at the second half. But he looked gingerly on some of those especially when he rolled out that one time. I don't know. It just kind of looked like he was just kind of like he was uneasy.
He still ran them. He still had
Yeah.
He did what he needed to do, run the ball, which I couldn't believe they allowed him to run.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, this is one of those games where I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers lose. I wouldn't be surprised if they win. Honestly, I mean, that's this team. They do Steeler things. At times
they do. I
mean, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Right. I mean, you have Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, Noah Gray. I mean, you have Justin Watson, another tight end, Juju Smith-Schuster, Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, they're absolutely loaded.
Right.
Well, I think that's one sack today they gave up.
Yeah, and I think that's why Mahomes is obviously okay to play, and I think that's why they keep putting him out there because they know, hey, he has a lot of weapons around him. He does. It's not like you rely on him to completely, be the X factor in the game. He's just a facilitator in this whole,
like a
piece.
Point guard.
So I don't know.
Yeah, like a point guard.
That?
You're right. I said like a point guard. You're right.
Right. Yeah.
He does an excellent job of distributing the ball, and I think their goal with him is to, get the win against the Steelers. Then he sits for, nearly 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I think we pretty much covered everything we needed to cover today, Ed.
Yep.
So,
no doubt.
But thanks everybody for tuning in. Hey, we'll be Christmas Day. We'll be doing the post game show. Hope everybody has a good Christmas. Hope Santa's good to you Christmas morning, and I hope Santa's good to the Steelers on Sunday. I hope that hope we get a win, and hopefully we'll have our other third guy here if he can figure out technology. Hopefully he joins us Christmas Day.
He'll be here.
Okay, so, but Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays, and like I said, we'll be on shortly after the game on Christmas Day. So, thanks everybody for tuning in.